part. So right now we're seeing the other things. This is where we've laid down an exciting vision for NASA, where we can go as a spacefaring nation. And we've laid out all the specifications and requirements to our commercial enterprise. And then we're getting out of the way and letting the imagination and the curiosity of the human mind and the imagination of the human heart really carry us to heights we've never dreamed of before.
Doug, there's so many interesting features of this capsule, this Dragon capsule, and the fact that it can jettison away if the astronauts need safety up into almost orbit. And I find that stunning. What do you think of that system in place, God forbid?
It's absolutely, it's been put through its paces. We've tested it. They can actually eject off the launch pad as well, Neil. So they're protected. The astronaut crews are protected all the way to orbit. They have a way to get off this rocket and abort if they need to. So that's a real advance in technology for us.
All right, we already know now at this time stage 1 and 2 fuel loading is complete, so it's ready to go. At this point, 3.5 minutes before launch, what are you thinking? You've been there, done that. What are you thinking?
So up until this time, Doug and Bob got strapped in about 2.5 hours ago, and there's probably some light joking, maybe some Trivial Pursuit going on, but now it's go time, and so they are completely focused. It is a test flight, and the ice water is running through their veins right now. They're focused, and I sent a note to them late last night, and I know that they will be. They're focused, they're alert, and they're ready for the ride of their lives.
And again, you talk about that jettison feature, but just to be familiar with it, who activates that? The astronauts can, but the NASA administrator can, a host of other key players can. Who has control of that, if it should be necessary?
Well, there is a launch control group that's controlling the launch, and so they can fire that escape system. There's also an automated system that if it senses that the vehicle needs to get off, that can also light it within certain parameters, and the crew can do that as well.
Doug, thank you very much, and thank you for your incredible and memorable heroic service to the world and those who dream of leaving this planet and thinking about the majesty of all of that. And you did so calmly. I always remember the stories on you that it took a lot to rattle you. In fact, they never could. So, Doug Wheelock, thank you very, very much. We're following a couple of things here. This is all about timing. Assuming this goes off okay in less than 2 minutes, it's all about catching up with the International Space Station that's traveling north of 17,000 miles an hour, about 249 miles over planet Earth. So that's the idea, that 19-hour catch-up to hook up with that. Let's go to NASA at Cape Canaveral and hear the countdown and the readiness as we are now about a minute away.
Stage 2 lock flow is closed out. Propellant fills are complete. Dragon is in auto idle.
Good 1 minute 34 seconds to go till launch.
Ground gas closeout is starting.
Falcon 9 is in startup. Dragon is in countdown. FTS is armed for launch.
Under a minute now, the FTS, the flight termination system, has been armed.
Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
SpaceX Dragon, we're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, bottom dog.
America has launched. And so rises the new era of American spaceflight, and with it the ambitions of a new generation continuing to dream. 20 seconds into flight, stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
30 seconds into this historic mission. Flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon 9, and look at them go.
Falcon power torture nominal.
M1D throttle down.
We're throttling down to get ready for the period of maximum dynamic pressure. We're in the throttle bucket. Reports say all systems are go.
Vehicle is supersonic.
We've exceeded Mach 1 on the Falcon 9.
M1D throttle up.
We're throttling back up to full power as we're through next Q.
Copy 1 Bravo.
And we heard that 1 Bravo call out. That's just the second abort zone that they're in. They'll continue to be on this until the first stage has done its job and they switch over to the second. At this point, Bob and Doug pulling about 2.3 Gs, 2.3 times the Earth's gravity, already moving at over 1,500 miles per hour.
We've heard the call out for MVAC engine chill. That's getting the MVAC engine ready to light. That'll come at about 2:44 into flight. Right now, everything continuing to look good. Next major event coming up is going to be the triple. We'll have main engine cutoff of the 9 first stage engines, stage separation, and then ignition of the second stage engine to continue to carry the astronauts into orbit. Coming up in about 20 seconds.
M1D throttle down.
We heard we're throttling down the Merlin engines on the first stage. And we have Miko.
Pico.
2 Alpha. Falcon stage separation confirmed.
Copy 2 Alpha.
MVAC ignition.
All right, we have stage separation confirmed. The first stage beginning its flight back. The second stage being powered by that single Merlin 1D vacuum engine has ignited and is now carrying Bob and Doug into orbit. So they're going to continue under the power of this second
Stage 2
stage,
propulsion is nominal.
which will cut off at SECO, or second engine cut off, at about 8 minutes and 44 seconds into today's flight. So a little over 5 minutes to go still on this second stage. You heard the call out 2 Alpha, so they're now in the longest abort zone that carries them all the way from about North Carolina up the eastern seaboard almost to Canada. Things looking good though, getting good call outs, nominal propulsion on that second stage. Bob and Doug continuing to make their way into orbit.
Dragon SpaceX nominal trajectory.
Acquisition of signal Bermuda.
SpaceX Dragon nominal trajectory.
All right, here in nominal trajectory, so Dragon pointed in the right direction, continuing to make their flight uphill. Heard acquisition of signal Bermuda. That's one of the other ground stations that they're using to get telemetry and data back from this spacecraft.
Stage 2 propulsion is still nominal.
little over 4 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight. Bob and Doug flying at more than 5,600 miles
Dragon
per hour.
SpaceX nominal trajectory.
Already almost 200 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Nominal trajectory continuing.